Churchill had a saying about pigs along the lines that a cat looks down at a man, a dog looks up at a man, but a pig looks into a man's eyes and sees his equal. How does New Zealand's unique mountain parrot view humans, I wonder? A source of entertainment? Bearers of strange objects and foreign delicacies? Anyone who has encountered one of these birds probably agrees with my summation that they certainly don't see humans as their superiors. Here's some random facts about these characters. There's a flock of them housed in a lab in Vienna. Alright then, it's a circus of them housed in a lab in Austria. When I say housed, hotelled is probably a more apt description. Oh yeah, there's also a circus of Keas in Ohio, the Cincinnati Zoo. The good folk there are also on board in local conservation efforts. Back to the Österreich. In their 5-star facilities, Kea are run through their paces. A lot of what we know about vocalizations come from there and not here. And they also get to use a touchscreen computers. To the point, Kea porn had to be blocked after an Austrian researcher had his credit card flogged and run to the max. So what do Kea recognise in front of them when they see shapes and objects on a television or on a screen? The same as you and I. It's just a recent study from around the corner from me here in Christchurch indicates Kea can't tell the difference between the real world and the virtual one. The way humans are de-evoluting, and that sounds spookily familiar. In general, Keas mate for life. The pair become very territorial. It's a harsh life up in the mountains of the South Island. A Kea in the wild will only get 2 decades on this earth. In a zoo like Cincinnati or Willowbank, you can double that. How does one get to tell the difference between a male and female Kea? The males are slightly bigger and have larger beaks, male or female. If you like playing guitar or piano or typing proficiently, best not to poke one. We know they were kicking about in New Zealand 10,000 years ago, and the fossilised record also tells us they roamed the lowest forests, North Island and South. The likely reason why they migrated up into the mountains was to get away from humans, i.e. survival. A subspecies of Kea once existed on the Norfolk Islands. That was until convicts were rehoused to their new home away from home. Kaka were soon gobbled up, and with their natural environment stripped, by the mid-1800s they were extinct. They are the household cook's dream. They'll eat anything, not fussy. Whilst predominantly vegetarian, they'll nosh away on insects, larvae, and more than the odd dead animal. Vegans take note that on the opportunistic Kea's menu are dead rabbits and dead anything, including dead Kea. There's a word for this. Then there's the result of all their eating. Poo. It's an important dispersal method on which a great number of alpine plants depend. I think it's about time for me to promote this organisation, the Kea Conservation Trust, with some great and novel gifts available in their shop. Profits to a great cause. When sheep were first farmed up high in the high country, 1 in 10 animals were found to have sores and wounds to their loins, which the farmers and authorities first put down to some sort of strange alpine disease. Guess who? Nor was this the first creature they would grab hold of and gnaw away. When the mowers were about, they would be tormented by Kea as well. Attaching themselves to the back of a sheep, rodeo style, they can also produce sheep-like behaviour, the one terrified and tormented animal herding the others. When it became clear who was bumping off and injuring the sheep, it was open season on Kea. It is estimated 150,000 were eradicated in the rough century period between 1870 and 1970. Kea didn't become fully protected till 1986. How big? Animal intelligence is viewed from the perspective of just one of those animals, the hairless bipedal apes, who organise all sorts of anthropomorphic tests to see how bright an animal is, picking loco numbers perhaps, which incidentally is on par with you and me. One such test given to the crafty Kea at Otago Medical School, that's in Otago, went like this. To get a reward in the nature of a treat, a Kea was trained to go through the following exercise: turning a key on a cash box, specifically picking out the largest coin from the loot. That, by the way, at the time was the largest coin, a 50-cent piece. And if you're new around here, my other attempts at graphics are no better. Then they had to jump through the hoop, circus style, with the coin in mouth. Then finally drop it into a slot of the anointed special money box. I couldn't do this till I was 10. That hoop business would always stuff me up. The IQ of Keas are often compared to crows. Tests were held. Keas went beak to beak with Caledonian crows in a battle of bird brains. There could only be one winner. A first round knockout to the Keas in the green corner. Read it and weep, Melanesians. The ability to predict the likelihood of an event is going to reoccur based on previous experiences seems kind of normal to us humans, primates even. And there's just one other creature we know of that can similarly figure out sequences in advance. One guess. Tell us your Kiwi encounters in the comments. I will kick this one off with a tale from my youth. Last year, 1976, if I have to guess, a reckless tramping exercise involving booze and cigarettes, all stolen from our parents, more so than, say, useful supplies. Food comes to mind. At the end of our trip, which we ended up back at the Arthur's Pass car park as the evening set, in no mood to set the tent, the three of us decided to spend the night in our car, finishing off the alcohol that wouldn't originally fit into our tramping bags, one of which, to this day, I cannot mention without feeling bilious. Homemade drinking games ensued inside the car. The end result of this drinking session was one of my companions going outside and vomiting, which is about all I remember of the night. And then we all awoke in the morning, or were awoken, when there was a persistent tapping noise. The Keas had descended and were consuming the vomit on the car, resulting in every peck chipping away the paint on the vehicle, which, by the way, was not my mate's, it was his mum's. Still, don't be too upset, it was only a Vauxhall Viva. There you go. Got to be some other amusing Kea stories out there. Get them off your chest. Into the comments they go. I hope you enjoyed my spin on this noble and magnificent creature. Bye for now.